Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about the aspect of compound interest, and I will share a story with you to complete the video. But if you guys think about it, if you guys just put a little bit of money away every month, it doesn't matter how much it has to be, it can be between $100 and $200. If you really wanted to save up a lot of money, you could do $400 every month, but I'm sure that a lot of people can't afford to put $400 away a month in savings. So this idea that I'm getting at though too is this is basically some sort of a nest egg. This could also be an emergency fund that you could use at your disposal anytime, anywhere, any place, when you need it, but only use it when you need it. The other thing is too is that long term, if you're diligent, just steady as you go, taking one step at a time each and every day, one foot in front of the other, I think it's safe to say that you could eventually become a millionaire. In the long run too, the end, when you're old, when you've retired, when you're done working, you don't have to retire broke. You always have options, and this is one option you can go with. So I'm going to go ahead and read this author's story about his mom, and this should sum up the video nicely for you guys. My mom worked as an administrative assistant in our church for 35 years. Pay was minimal, and the job didn't exactly come with a lot of benefits. And if life was hard, it got a lot harder when my father died. My dad served in World War II and came home with some health problems that never fully resolved. After 20 years or so working for the Veterans Administration, he ended up getting to know the VA hospital from the customer's point of view. He lost a lung to emphysema and eventually succumbed to a heart attack at the ripe old age of 41. At the military ceremony, they did that thing you've probably seen on television where they fold an American flag down into a neatly creased triangle, walk solemnly over and hand it to the oldest son. In this case, that happened to me. I was 11 years old. It's hard. From that point on, my mom was a single mom, raising a family of 3 kids. She worked, she came home, she cooked, she took care of us. She never drank, never cussed, never complained, not once, not ever. She was always there for me, no matter what. She was so consistent that later on in life, I took to calling her matter-of-fact Rose. For my part, I have to admit that I more or less took all of this for granted. I knew that my mom had grown up with little money, and that's how my siblings and I grew up, in a little house with little but the bare essentials. In my mind, that's just how things were. And it's easy to assume that just how things are is how they're always going to be. Fast forward to many years later, after I had built some success in my life. In 1996, a book appeared titled The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko. A classic today, Stanley and Danko's book is still the best description I've ever read of how real-life people have become wealthy by following these principles. The millionaires featured in their book don't inherit wealth or strike it rich by making outrageously lucky gambles. They don't live large, drive flashy cars, or live in ostentatious homes. They live below their means and make sensible, smart choices in how they conduct their everyday lives. After that book came out, my friends would tell me, "Hey Jeff, have you seen this book? It's about you. It describes exactly what you do and how you act. You're the millionaire next door guy." Sure enough, the book described exactly how I approached my finances. For years, I kept our family living on $4,000 a month, no matter how much my income increased. I would let us raise that monthly threshold until I had $1 million after taxes in the bank. Then I raised it to $5,000. Some years later, I was sitting with my mom one day and happened to tell her about the book and about what my friends were saying about me being the steady as she goes, one foot in front of the other, nothing flashy millionaire, next door guy. She nodded and then said, "You know why that is?" "No," I replied, not sure where she was going with this. "Why?" She looked at me and said, "Well, I'm a millionaire too." "What do you mean?" I said. "You mean the house, or..." There was no way her house could be worth $1 million, not even an inflated 1996 market values. I knew that, but I couldn't imagine what else she could possibly mean. "No," she said. "No, I have a couple $1 million, salted away, you know, in savings." "What?" I just stared at her. "I have a couple $1 million too," she repeated. Seeing my astonished expression, she shrugged and added, "It's not something you'd want to brag about." For all these years of going to work every day, going about her life, taking care of her kids, living in that little house, she had been quietly saving, consistently and persistently, without anyone else noticing. She had quietly made herself into a millionaire. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Please subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.